Hi guys. I'm going over your. I posted on Instagram, and I was asking for video topics. So I'm gonna go over what the people said in this video, and I'll go over if we've addressed it and if I think that the previous videos are adequate, or if we can elaborate on it. I'm gonna try to tackle everything. Okay, so one suggestion is rosary prayers. Okay, we do have a couple. I do have a couple on this channel, one in English. No, that's not a rosary prayer. That's just a prayer. That's just a ritual. So I do have one rosary on this channel that I tried my best to do in Spanish, but I will. I know Santa Muerte Magic has some in English. Very, very good website. I know santamuerte.org has some in Spanish as well as English, is so long as you select the English option. Off the top of my head, as far as online resources, I mean, there's a billion. There's so many different rosaries to Santa Muerte because it's the practitioner or the devotee's own rendition, but the one that I uploaded was the one that I found to be my favorite because it seemed to incorporate a lot. It seemed to capture the embodiment of the devotees in Mexico from what I've seen. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't actually been to a service in Mexico. I haven't even been to a service here in the United States. I haven't. But I grew up Catholic, so I know what one might look like. But from what I've seen, and I'm always going to be honest with you guys, from what I've seen, that little booklet that I have, it seems to be pretty close to what a lot of what I've seen of what they do. I keep saying what I've seen. Okay, so okay. Another one is what to do if Santa Muerte asks you to do something that is difficult, like asking you to stop smoking or something along those lines. Okay, so eliminating vices. What to do? Well, this is for your betterment, so you should likely follow through. Really, and this is personal gnosis, really the only thing that happens by you not following through is you're basically screwing yourself. There have been many occasions where I have told her, I'm so sorry for disappointing you. I'm so sorry for breaking a promise. I'm so sorry for being somebody who doesn't follow through. And the answer always seems to be the same. It's like, you're not disappointing me. You're disappointing you. You are the one that is suffering by not going forward with this promise, especially in regards to your health or issues with addiction and stuff like that. The only person you're hurting is you. So if she asks you to do something along those lines, it's for your betterment. You shouldn't really have to worry about punishment. It's more so the halt of your evolution forward. So I hope that addresses that. Just do it. There's no other way around it. Just do it. To the best of your ability. We're human beings. We slip up. We have a hard time with eliminating our crutches. So we have to just do our best, even if it's a slow process. So yeah, just do it. Another one is animals in Santa Muerte. So I responded back and I said, animal association or interaction? It's like, what do you mean? So as far as animal association, I've had a lot of people come up and say spiders. And I know that spiders are a big one when it comes to the Aztec underworld. Also, prior to my getting into this practice, I had noticed that spiders were associated with the dark feminine, empowerment, able to make the web, like the association with the widow and how she eats. Is that the one that she eats her mate? I know that's a what is that insect? Praying mantis. But does a black widow do it too? I think that's where they get the term black widow, right? But anyway, it's about like female empowerment in like the pagan groups that I've been to. But spiders were, I believe, very much associated with the gods of the underworld in the Aztec folklore and mythology. The Xolo dog, the one that's hairless and that you usually see it's kind of like all dark. He might have little tufts of hair. That one's also associated because that animal would assist and accompany the souls through to the underworld. They would actually sacrifice those dogs to accompany a soul to go with them to the underworld. Dogs were very reliable even back then, and they would also eat them. So, yeah. So those owls, they were associated with the god of the underworld, and I believe it was for collecting messages, collecting knowledge, the eyes at night kind of thing, the messenger. What else? I would say more, but they would be personal gnosis. So I'm not going to go on and claim more. I don't know about snakes. I don't know about flies. I don't know about insects other than the spiders. Bats, yes. I have heard about bats. There was actually a bat god, I believe, who was one of the gods of the underworld. I just don't remember the purpose. So, hold on just a second. Okay, yeah, bats. So, yeah, I don't know in particular, but there was one, I'm not going to say god, but they kind of more saw them as like demonesses, and they were associated with women who not died during childbirth, but had something to do with maybe stealing children. I think they were called the Tzimitzi. I'm mispronouncing that. But anyway, they were kind of like demonesses. And they looked, one of them was described as looking like a black moth or a black butterfly. And in Mexican folklore, there is a such thing called the witch moth, and it looks very close to black. And it is said that if it, I heard this from my friend Alex. Alex, I'm calling you out. Anyway, and so he said that if it comes inside your house and it touches all four corners, then it is a death omen. So that is another thing, if I'm getting that right, associated with, could be, maybe, associated with her. Of course, now I'm going back into the Aztec mythology, which is not the question, but as you know, the monarch butterfly as well. Those were the souls of the dead. But, okay, and now, okay, how does she react with animals? All I have is cats and dogs. I had a ferret, and they don't really care. Like, my cats get curious. My cats have gotten curious about the altar, but I think any animal would. I mean, there's lots of stuff going on up there that they probably want to play with. So, as far as a positive or negative reaction, I haven't seen any. So that I couldn't tell you. Let me see here. I heard Wednesday was her day off and never to petition her on Wednesday. She's resting and relaxing. Seems more than fair, no? My personal viewpoint on that, and I've heard that, my personal viewpoint on that is it's pretty much any day. Like, I don't petition her a lot, so she has a lot of time off. But if you're one of those people that's like doing work every single day, I mean, my honest opinion, it would make sense. Do you have to designate a day? Well, some days are associated with certain planetary energies. Wednesday would be a day of Jupiter, luck, expansion. I mean, it's up to you. Honestly, this is a practice. It's not a religion. It's entirely up to you. You want Wednesdays off? Do Wednesdays off. That's up to you. Okay, day in the life of a Santa Muerte devotee. Now, this one's going to vary from person to person because honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I get up, I take my vitamins, I eat breakfast, I, clean up. My son usually has school, he does his Zoom meetings. I do what I need to do as far as business goes, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm like constantly thinking about her. That's kind of like what I do, obsess over that subject matter, and talk about her online all the time, read different sources, watch videos, and at night I say my thank yous, and that's about it. But that's me, because I don't ask for a lot. We just kind of chill. Some people, though, they will get up, they will do a rosary, have their coffee with her, they'll have their breakfast. They might light a candle, light their incense, what have you, and continue with their day. And throughout their day, they might, clutch their pendant, or they might say certain prayers or something throughout the day. And then the same thing before bed. They'll share dinner with her and, say prayers before bed. So that's what a lot of people do. It's not what I do, but it's what a lot of people do, Boo for me. Okay. Let me see. Personal testimony type video talking about how she's came through for you and why your faith is so strong. Or maybe how she sends you signs and what they mean for you. I don't know. I think you have a lot of... Okay, sorry. I don't know. Okay, don't... You're going to give me a big hit. Okay. So, personal testimony. I do have a couple of videos on that. And it is a lot, guys. It is a lot. I will be lecturing you all day long on personal accounts. Why my faith is so strong? Because she's so close to this realm that it's undeniable. You can't deny it. I've spoken to many atheists that were like, I was straight up 100% never wavering atheist until I had an encounter with her, and now I'm just thrown for a loop, how she sends you signs and what they mean for you. Oh man, I got videos on that too, like especially the number 13. Oh my god. Ooh. It's mainly number 13, but it's also dreams and like billboards or street names or car licenses that are associated, like if I have a question that's been lingering in my head and I can't seem to get an answer, I've asked all my friends, I've tried to Google it, I've tried to research, I've tried to look in the books that I have, I've tried to search everywhere and I can't seem to find the answer. And then I will be driving somewhere and then it'll just be like, boom, right there on a billboard. And I'll be like, okay. So that is literally a sign. And it'll just do it for me. It'll answer the question for me. It might not answer a question for other people. But yeah, I have so many previous videos on that as well. Devotee versus devotee video, just recently did that. Who wins? Well, to cover it in this video and so that you don't have to go watch the other one, the stronger one wins. I mean, that's how I've seen it played out. Okay, what does it mean when your black candle turns out to be really darker on the top? Blockages. Black on the top, especially if it goes all the way to the bottom, means, yeah, we got a problem in this area, buddy. That's what it means, essentially. Also means that your wick might be touching the glass. And it's burning the glass because of the fire. Does that make sense? Yeah. Always make sure your wicks are centered in the middle of the candle. Yeah, usually just means like, say you're doing a candle for money. And it all turns black. It's like, yeah, buddy, we're going to acknowledge the fact that you got problems in this area. And we're going to have to work through it. We're trying, but you're probably going to have another candle. You're probably going to have to approach this from a different perspective. Maybe we not work on your money. Maybe we work on opening your roads. Or maybe we work on I don't know, getting another job. Maybe we light a candle about that, kind of thing. So that's how you can perceive that. Practicing when you're away from your normal space, i.e. traveling a lot. Ooh, yes, travel altars. If you want to do that, travel altars. I love travel altars. Let me show you one that my good friend made for me, and he's on Instagram, and it's so intricate, and I know for a fact that he spends lots of time, and he's a hardcore devotee. Let me show you these travel altars. He hand makes, and he's very talented, and he has been mimicked, and people have copied him, but his were among the very, very first, if not the first, that I ever saw on Instagram. And those are real, by the way. Those are real bones. Those are real herbs. He actually put the time and the effort into making this travel altar with herbs and such. Look at the little roses associated with the altar style that you ask for. And it's in a little tin. See? And there's his signature right there. I'm going to have to flip the video. LV13. Really cool guy. Really humble guy. But he does put a lot of time and effort into these. So I love it so much. It still smells so good. I think he laughs every time I talk about this smell, because this one in particular smells like eucalyptus. And oh my God. It's like a specific kind of eucalyptus that smells so good. It smells like an old library. Like when you open up an old book in an old library, how it smells. Oh my God. Just the aromatherapy alone is healing. But anyway, let me show you his Instagram in case you want one. Hold on. Okay. See if you can see it. My camera is acting a little blurry. But his Instagram is LV_XLLL. So it's Roman numerals. But yeah, man. Oh, look at the most recent one. Oh, no, that's mine. Oh, hold on. Let me show you some of his altars. Like, look at this one. With the razor blades and the evil eye. That is super cool. And if you're a practitioner and you're an occultist, you'll understand what the razor blades mean. So anyway, yeah, travel altars. That's one way. Another way is just your prayers, or you could help a vagrant. You could maybe help clean up a cemetery. You could give to an orphanage, the children that have been lost through the system, which a lot of them have, and feed the homeless. There's lots of ways that you can give back and show altruism, show a form of altruism. So let's see. Let's go back to the list. How to cleanse your Santa Muerte if someone or who is cursing or hex on you. Meaning, can someone turn your Santa Muerte to curse or hex or punish? They can just learn defense magic. Okay? Learn how to defend yourself. Ask her to guide you, how to teach you in learning how to be, how do I say this? Ask her to teach you how to be prepared on how to avoid potential attacks, even when you wouldn't figure that they're coming in, because they can come in from anyone. They can even come in from yourself. You can be causing these this negative spirit to manifest in your vicinity simply through your self-doubt and through your self-hate. So, yes, ask her to teach you how to defend yourself. Because let me just say, I don't want to say too much here, But let me just say that anything is possible in the spirit world. Anything. I hope that answers your question. I don't want to get too in depth because I don't want to piss people off even more than I already do. Another video idea is maybe simple space limpias. Yeah, I just did a video on how to clean your entire home. So if you want, you can pick that one apart. I also have a bath that you can do on a previous video. My cleansings are very simple. They always use the same herbs and the same substances and the same techniques. Very, very, very simple most of the time anyway. Because some people get like really in depth and I'm like, nah, you don't really need that. You just need this, this, and this. Yeah, you're done. So yeah, go back into the archives and you'll see like basic spiritual bath. And you'll see more recently like how to do house cleansing. It's one of the more recent videos. What kind of offerings she likes. What simple daily practices to strengthen your bond. Offerings. Woo, that's a whole video in itself. Offer what you got. Because what I've learned is that even if it's not a traditional offering, the thought still counts. And you will know if she likes something or not, because it'll either mold too quick, or it'll get cloudy, or it'll die too quick, or it'll fall, it'll break. So give what you got. Candies, food, flowers. Flowers are big. Man, she loves flowers. My experience has been carnations, white carnations, pink roses. For some reason, for me, not for everybody, but for me. Sunflowers, wonderful, wonderful offering. Let me see what else. White roses. Let me see. Like kind of like the mixture bouquet that you'll find at a grocery store. Yeah, those will suffice. It's just all just dependent on your personal connection with her, because yours will be different from mine. But you can never fail with flowers. Always put water. Always put water. Never forget water. That's the vital fluid of life. Never forget water. To strengthen your bond, communication. Just talk. By talking, you're putting your energy into something. That is time you will never get back. So just speak with her. And, and a lot of people do this through prayer. But just speak with her like you would an elder. And just kind of like sit in front of her image and just talk to her. She's a chatty Cathy, so gab back. Gab with her all day long. That's probably the easiest and freest and best thing that you can do. So, how to read the candle you put on Santa Muerte's altar, or how to do divination with her. Okay, we do have previous candle videos, a few actually, or how to do divination with her. Divination is a very broad umbrella term, but because there's like hundreds of different forms of divination. I mean, I could create a form of divination right now. With this tub of watermelon, I could create a form of divination if I wanted to. Looks good, don't it? All divination means is, you're using this method to try to find answers. So divination with her, a lot of people will use tarot cards. Biggest form of divination with her. And more specifically, they'll use the tarot cards that are associated with her or have her imagery. They'll use a pendulum. They'll use a coin, which is, flips to yes or no. They'll use, I've seen people use shells. I've seen people read tea leaves, or they'll read like her coffee. Dreams. You can do divination work through dreams or channeling. There's a bunch of them. Oh, the cigarettes. They'll burn one is marked yes, one is marked no, and they'll set it on the butt end of the cigarette, and they'll light them both at the same time, and whichever one burns down first is the answer. They'll also do the same thing with candles. Whichever one burns down is the answer. There was one where you put something in water in whichever side it rotates to. It might have been a needle on a leaf in water, kind of sort of like a pendulum, and whichever side it points to is the answer. But I haven't seen too much of that one. Trusting her, learning to do the ask or task, and just leave it completely to her without worrying about it all the time. Well, sounds like you got it. Just learning to trust is a process in itself. I think what the root of that question is probably involving losing control, letting go of control. Well, honestly, this is a hard one to learn, and this is something that I struggle with majorly, which is just trusting in the process and thinking it, knowing what you want to do and speaking it, and knowing that by doing so, you've already put forth the effort to make something happen. So, I mean, trust issues, or not trust issues, but letting go is difficult. That's a whole process in itself. But I think that if you ask her for something and you just kind of like keep distracted, you don't worry about it too much, and you keep your mind elsewhere, and it comes to fruition, you'll begin to let go and trust her more. I know that you probably have to, maybe a lot of us have to see it to believe it, but that's one way to help transition into trusting. A lot of people will get mad at me right now and be like, well, if you don't trust her, then don't involve yourself. But a lot of us have a problem with control, like we can't deny the fact that she's there, and we can't deny the fact that we've had interaction with her, but yeah, we do have a hard time letting go of control. It's a human trait, especially coming from people that have had issues with control in the past. So yeah, just if you've seen her grant you something, then that in itself should aid you in helping to let go and let her do her thing. Let's see. Talk about how it's vital that devotees not work against each other. Why and what could happen if any doors, or if any open doors are abused against one another. Something along those lines. Okay, I just recently did a video on devotee versus devotee, but why is it bad? Well, it's bad because you guys are in this together. We're already getting ridicule from everybody else, guys. We're already getting called every name in the book, and we're already seen as the world's worst, and we have quite a few bad apples that we have to contend with that are fellow devotees, so we have to contend with that too. And the world is not perfect, and people are not perfect, and I'm not saying they should be, but I mean, I don't want to sound all like hippy-dippy and stuff, but that is my mentality. I mean, we should, align together and learn from each other rather than ridiculing. And the thing with this is, once again, people have a hard time with control, and a lot of people in every religious community have an issue with entitlement. So arrogance and notoriety and fame and money, and they come into religion thinking that that's what it's all about, when it's not. A spiritual grouping of people are usually supposed to be in it, ideally speaking, for the progression of their betterment, and betterment also means doing dark work, because you in a situation like with me, I'm very much like a doormat, and she's teaching me how to defend myself. She's teaching me about my roots, and she's teaching me how to stand up for the person that I am and know my worth. So she could be doing that for a lot of you who were experiencing trauma in the past, or who are manipulated by a lot of people, or manipulated by a system, so it's very important, to understand that we're all going through this struggle, and we we know who the charlatans are. You know, we know who's gonna run in but also run out. We know who's in it for the long haul. So the best thing that I can tell you as far as fighting with each other is just learn how to know who the real ones are. And if they're not worth your effort, then they're not worth your effort. Don't even waste any time on them, because they're probably the type of people that religion was just their crutch. I mean, they had other issues. I can't judge. You know, they might have had a bad childhood. Who knows? But it's just something we have to contend with. It's just something that we have to deal with, because let's be real here. I mean, a lot of people that come into this got problems. A lot of people that come into religion in general, spirituality in general, they're coming from trauma. They're coming from a bad life, or they're coming from a place of wanting more because their life is just not offering them what they need. So that's the attitudes that a lot of these people have. They have a fighter mentality, or they have a victim mentality, or they have a survivor mentality. So for us to automatically say like, hey, wait, peace and love, they're going to be like, what? No, survival, you know, the survival of the fittest, you know, I got to be the tip top, you know, this is like my second chance to become all I wanted to be, you know, screw that peace and love mentality. You know, it's about dog eat dog, you know, so it's hard because the whole, I will read that people will say that whole peace and love mentality is one that comes from the idealism of Catholicism, because they want us to be submissive and they want us to not defend ourselves. And I get that argument. But me being the utopian-minded person that I am, in which everybody can get along, you know, we may agree to disagree, or we may have our differences, but we can still learn from each other. People like me are few and far between. So what can you do? They're going to fight. Unfortunately, they're going to fight. And there's really nothing we can do about it, because every person's different and they all have their own problems. We can just do the best we can do on our end. Let me see. This wasn't really a question, just mainly a comment. How to connect with ancestors with Santa Muerte. Okay. With this one in particular, I mean, you can, but also ask yourself, do you know that they were Santa Muerte devotees? Because pretend you're dead and your surviving great-grandson is like totally into Odin, and you were a Christian. So he comes to you and he says, I'm totally into Odin. Let's form this little alliance between you and Odin. You, as a dead person, are either going to be like, I don't care, or you're going to be like, why? I have nothing to do with Odin. I am a Christian. You know, because it has been said that a lot of people that are deceased carry their same mentality into death. For who knows how long? I don't know. But it has been said. So why would they want to help you connect with a spirit that they don't agree with or that they're not into? That was my case. I tried it. It did not go well, because my recently deceased would not have agreed with my current position in spirituality. But if you knew for a fact that they were into it, then by all means pursue it. Set up a space that you can focus and that you can concentrate in, and like light a white candle, put a cup of water. It's like the least you can do. You can put like a real peaceful cloth over that space. I'm not saying to create an altar. This can be temporary, okay? And just try to sit and be calm. You can even listen to like calming music. Like say they were Buddhist, you know? Listen to Buddhist chant. Try to get in that mental space that you can connect with them through. Or say they were like advocate, say they were really into, I don't know, farming. You know, listen to something like Raindrops on a Tin Roof, you know, or listen to something that mentally you can use as background to connect to that perceived energy better, you know? And just connect with them outside of her. You know, it's like introducing two people that you might not know for a fact will like each other. So just try to connect with them on a one-to-one better. Sit in, like I said, sit in a peaceful space and just say it in your head or say it out loud and be like, I want to connect to my ancestral lineage. You reside in my blood. You've given me life and you've brought me here, and I want to thank you and I want to speak with you. Say it's somebody you didn't know, like great-great-great-grandpa, and say, I would like to get to know the person that you are or used to be. Humana. You know, so it's as simple as that. Will they for sure come through the first time around? There's no guarantee. You're going to have to keep practicing. You're going to have to keep going at it. And then what you can do, what I do afterward, is you can show them a form of divination. Like say you have like a deck of cards, okay? Any deck of cards, a regular poker deck. You can tell them, speak out loud and say, I would like to ask you questions. Let the king be yes. Let the queen be no. And we will use the hearts, all the hearts, as the indicator of yes and no. And I want to ask you, you know, this series of questions. And I mean, you can just make anything up. And the simple fact that you're spending time trying to hone in on that one particular energy is going to help you better that connection with them. Later, once you're comfortable with communication with them, then you can try to introduce her. That's how I would do it. But when you're just like in a crowd of people you've never met and you're just starting off with Santa Muerte, you're going to be like, come on guys, let's huddle together. How do you think it's going to go? Some people will argue they're spirits. They don't have hate. They don't have... Well, that's all up for debate. This is my opinion. So it didn't go over too well with me. I had to keep those two things separate. Let me see. Oh, I was watching one of your videos when you can't wear Santa Muerte jewelry. It freaking sucks. I want to try again. You mentioned that you cleaned every single piece of jewelry really good before wearing them. If you haven't already, can you make a video on your cleansing process? Sure, I do have a video on it, and it's called, I think it's called How to Clean Your Jewelry. It's in the video archives. It's pretty far back. Let me see if I can find the title. It's pretty far back, like I said. Hold on just a second. Okay, it's this one. How to consecrate a Santa Muerte pendant. Hope you can see it. That's it. Okay, I like a video on Santa Muerte with the lantern and what that represents. Oh, that's easy. Light in the darkness. Ta-da! Simple. It's always, the lantern is always about lighting up the darkness. You'll notice sometimes, I have a video on this too. God, what haven't I made a video on? You'll notice that sometimes if you put like tea light candles or even like the Christmas lights or any kind of lights on her altar, sometimes she messes with them. Like they'll flicker or they'll turn on and off, or they'll get like really bright and then really dim, you know? I have a video showing that. It's at the very end of the video, but it's called Santa Muerte and the Lights. I think that's what it's called. but I've had that happen with her a lot. But I've also gotten like messages saying, my lights are bad. You need to come put lights over here. And this is for your benefit, not mine. Like, that's what the message was I'm lighting up your darkness. This is about you. So you want to be in the dark? That's cool. You're going to have to navigate your way through the dark. But if you want light through that dark, come give me light. So that's what that means. So that's all I got for comments. I hope that helped. And this was fun. And that's all I got for now. So 40 minutes of your time. I hope it wasn't wasted. If you have any comments, leave them below. I have to approve them. So if anybody wants to be rude, I don't know why I'm saying this at the end of the video, but it's always fun when they find out the hard way, then I will delete your comment and possibly block the account. So leave them down below. I'd like to know what y'all think. And if I haven't answered your question, I will do my best to get to it. But if it's like a response to another person's question, sometimes I'm not able to see those. So anyway, y'all have a good day and even better weekend. We'll see you in the next video.